Now at 10 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, the next step in the possible transfer of UHV to the Texas A&M system is happening today. What's at stake for students and the community? We'll have the latest. A weekend fire in Victoria leads to an arrest, and it's not just arson on the list of charges. And a unique school for kids with learning challenges is at risk of closing.
The rain showers are still in the Crossroads area, coming in south to north across the region. A few in Victoria County, a few more near Edna. What are the chances for tomorrow? What about a severe weather risk to add to that? We'll take a look coming up in your forecast.
And after beginning their postseason in a big way by sweeping Columbus, we hear from the Goliad Tigers before they take on Hondo in the second round. Coming up in sports.
Watching 25 News now at 10. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Don Brubaker. Shauna Curry has the night off. The next move in a possible UHV transfer to the Texas A&M University system was on the House floor today. House Bill 5150, the bill transferring the University of Houston Victoria to the A&M system, passed on the second reading on the House floor. The bill was delayed to be read for a third reading tomorrow. The bill was laid out to the House by State Representative District 30 A.J. Louderback on April 15th. Representative Louderback told us the bill will be passed after the third reading. The state Senate already passed the bill for transfer. If the House passes it, then it will go to Governor Greg Abbott for his signature. Louderback told us he has requested that Governor Abbott sign the bill in Victoria. If passed into law, the transfer will begin on June 1st, with the official transfer complete on September 1st. A Victoria man is accused of arson, among other charges. Victoria police were called to help the fire department with a structure fire in the 1500 block of North Laurent Sunday morning. Their investigation showed the cause of the fire to be arson. Officers then arrested 49-year-old Tim Cano on a charge of arson, as well as criminal trespass and possession of a controlled substance. Tonight, we're taking a look at a small school in our community that's making a huge difference, but now it's at risk of shutting down. 25 News Now weekend anchor Amaya Norman has more. Amaya?
Yes, Don, this school has given students dozens of second chances, but now a local school that changes lives is fighting to keep its doors open. Futures Academy in Victoria isn't your typical school. It's a place that helps kids who have a learning disability, autism, anxiety, or just emotional scares from other schools.
So our program provides a place that is comfortable for a lot of kids when they have been uncomfortable elsewhere. We also provide a support and another option for homeschool families because we also take drop-in students.
But now the school is facing a $60,000 budget shortfall. That's enough to threaten its rent, staff paychecks, and even the ability to stay open next year.
You've brightened my kids' life. We can do things now. We've seen them smile again. And I would be worried about them losing that, just losing the ground that they've gained.
This is a nonprofit school, and like many small organizations, it's been hit hard by rising costs and low enrollment. Some parents express it's not just about finding another school. It's about starting over with counseling, disability services, and new environments.
A lot of those parents, for us, it would mean the challenge of finding another environment and also seeing their kids struggle, which is the thing you don't want.
Some students also express that this school means a lot to them and a place where they finally feel like they belong.
We need this school. I don't know where we'd go without it. I mean, public school is another question. I don't know any private schools that function like Futures does. If it leaves, it's like an animal going extinct.
Futures Academy has been a lifeline for students who needed more than just a classroom. They needed a community. But without urgent support, that safe space could disappear. Amaya Norman, KAVU TV, 25 News Now.
Time to check on our future weather. Let's go to Trey Mining with a first look at the forecast. So we had rain in the morning and the afternoon and the night today, and tomorrow even more?
Exactly, probably more widespread than it was today as the low pressure out west gets closer to us. And a few rain showers still lingering around the region, one there near Edna, and one coming in just south of Victoria, now moving through the city as we speak, all along the east side of the city of Victoria. A few more there near Houston, kind of scattering here and there. That'll be a case for our day tomorrow. Wet streets out there, be careful driving if you're out this late. 75 degrees in Victoria. Humidity 94%, very humid on the outside with all that rainfall. What about the rain chance for tomorrow and on the next day after that and the end of the week? Looking a little bit better. I'll give you the details on that coming up later in the full forecast. Don?
Thank you, Trey. A man charged with capital murder in North Texas is on the run. Authorities are searching for Trevor McEwen near U.S. Highway 80, about 80 miles east of Dallas. Jury selection in his trial surrounding the 2023 shooting death of his neighbor, Aaron Martinez, was supposed to start today in Kaufman County. Aerials over the scene showed a lot of activity and crime scene tape over a building in a rural part of Van Zandt County. Authorities say McEwen cut off his ankle monitor and disappeared. Several law enforcement agencies joined in the search, including a team of dogs from the Texas Department of Corrections. Anyone who sees McEwen is urged to call 911. Texas officials claim that school funding is at an all-time high, ignores inflation and temporary federal money. To use the Texas Tribune's address lookup tool to see what share of your school district's funding comes from federal, state, and local sources, go to our website, crossroadstoday.com. Collection of defaulted federal student loans resumed today after a 5-year pandemic pause. The government warns defaulting now can lead to garnishment of wages or benefits. So some of your pay could go immediately to pay off your student loans. The Education Department says 5 million borrowers have defaulted and 4 million are at least 90 days late. People worried about defaulting can explore income-based repayment or deferment, forbearance, consolidation, or refinancing. The DOE says borrowers can contact its default resolution group to learn options, including a rehabilitation process to restore status. For today's viewer poll, we're asking what would help you most with student loan debt? Would it be lower monthly payments or more time before collections resume, loan forgiveness, or better information about options, or the most popular option for the voters today by far all day? 70% say, I don't have student loans. Go to crossroadstoday.com/vote to vote, and we thank you for voting. The Department of Education is threatening to withhold federal aid to colleges and universities that have high levels of students in default on their student loans. Education Secretary Linda McMahon sent a letter Monday to colleges and universities that receive federal funding assistance. She urged them to reach out to all former students to remind them of their financial obligations. The letter goes on to say institutions could lose access to federal student aid if they are not proactive. A Texas man's friendly wave led to a full-on parade over the weekend. Here's Wayne Banks, a U.S. Army veteran who loves sitting outside of his retirement home and just waving at passers-by.
If you've driven down Victoria Avenue in College Station, odds are you've seen Wayne Banks.
All right.
Every day, same spot, same smile, same wave, with just one rule.
If it's lightnings, I'm gone.
Wayne's a decorated war hero, Purple Heart, Silver Star, but around here, he's known for his wave.
If I can make somebody feel good, you know, I've done my thing.
And today, community returned to favor. Michaela and Stephen Guilford organized the parade. They say Wayne has made their daily drive feel a little lighter.
And we just wanted to do something special. I know a lot of people in this community see him on a daily basis and they put a smile on his face. So we just wanted to do the same for him.
He's just a really sweet guy, and we just figured the least we could do is at least, show, have a community come together to show support for him.
The staff at Bluebonnet Court say these moments mean more than people realize.
It just lets them know that they are remembered, not only our veterans, but the other seniors and the lives that they've lived.
And Wayne, he has no plans to do anything different, rain or shine, unless there's lightning.
Pete, what are you laughing at?
Because sometimes a wave says more than words ever could.
A local filmmaker is making national headlines once again. Anthony Padone is a member of the production team behind An American Bombing. This is the second news and documentary Emmy nomination from the team at Blowback Productions. The historical documentary, nominated in the Best Historical Documentary category, recreates the chilling journey of Oklahoma City bomber Timothy McVeigh, complete with a 1989 Isuzu modified to match his infamous getaway car. The documentary is currently streaming on Max. Graduation season is here, and we want to help you celebrate the class of 2025. Submit a photo and heartfelt message for your grad through June 13th. We'll feature them on air and on social media. Visit our contest page on our website, crossroadstoday.com. Click the Entertainment tab, select Contest, submit, and show your pride. Just a heads up, we cannot accept professional photos. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. Then you can see Crossroads Today on YouTube. Medical bill shock after an emergency room visit. How to spot errors and negotiate your way to savings, coming up on 25 News Now at 10. Also ahead, severe storms threaten millions across the southern plains. The latest on tornadoes, flooding, and recovery efforts. Medical bills can be a financial burden for many people, and the different charges can be difficult to navigate, especially if your bill has inaccuracies or you feel you were overcharged. But you have options to protect your wallet.
After his 5-year-old son had to go to the emergency room, James Easling was inundated with medical bills.
Initially, there was just that relief of knowing my son's okay. And then the bills started to come in the mail, came in from different departments, and sometimes multiple bills for the same service. And it was just kind of it was a lot to deal with.
Clifford Cook had a similar experience after a medical event put him in the ER.
The ER nurse, you get a bill from there. You get a bill from the ER doctor. They did a CAT scan. That was another bill. You get, so like you're trying to make sense of it all too, which is nearly impossible because there's so many line items.
Both James and Clifford turned to HealthLock, a paid subscription service that audits and verifies healthcare transactions.
On the one bill that was close to $20,000, they were able to get that bill reduced by, I think, over $13,000.
Founder and CEO of HealthLock, Scott Speranza, says it is not uncommon for medical bills to have errors.
There's definitely a financial impact, whether it's a denied claim, a partially denied claim, whether it's an upcharge, a code that should not have been used.
Although you can use companies like HealthLock, Goodbill, and Medical Cost Advocate, Speranza says that you do not need to pay for professional services. You can dispute your medical bills on your own. Start by contacting the medical office you went to, which Speranza says will be easier than dealing with your insurance company, and negotiate the bill based on the cash rate amount.
If I did not have insurance, what would you charge me? That's a good place to start because that's going to give you a baseline. And so if it was the cash pays $500 for the MRI and they're charging $2,500, why? And using that basis as a factual point to then build a case.
Speranza says these negotiations can be difficult, and although there is no guarantee you'll be able to lower your bill, using a third-party service may be beneficial. Clifford says he was able to get his bill down 10% by negotiating on his own, but he adds that he got a better outcome by opening a claim through his HealthLock subscription.
At the end of the day, they saved me 25%.
Zoreen Shah, ABC News, Los Angeles.
President Trump says he wants pharmaceutical companies to make more of their drugs in the United States. Today, he signed an executive order that would make it easier for the companies to build new plants in the U.S. The president said he plans to address the high costs of medicine and drugs in the country next week. He has previously threatened to impose tariffs on drugs coming into the country, but industry experts warn such a move could drive up drug prices and increase shortages. The threat of severe weather is back. Starting off this work week, forecasts show wet and windy conditions, with some cities in the south and eastern U.S. bracing for potential flooding, hail, and possible tornadoes. Here's where some are still cleaning up from the last round of storms and where the new potentially damaging threats are headed.
A severe storm system is threatening the southern plains across Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Louisiana. Across much of western Texas, damaging rain, hail, wind, and tornadoes are possible. The news comes amid recovery efforts for some in Burnett County after a tornado touched down on Thursday.
I didn't realize it was a tornado, but you could hear the wind for sure.
The minute we shut the door, I went blacked out. I don't remember anything.
The Lone Star State has been pounded by storms. Just days ago, water rescues were underway in the Huffman area and further north in Lawton, Oklahoma. Moving east, people in Monad, Missouri are thankful to be alive after a tornado hit last Tuesday.
I was at home in my shelter about 2 miles south of here. It can be rebuilt. Nothing can't be replaced.
In Louisiana, rooftops were ripped off after tornadoes turned through parts of the state on Friday. Monday's radar shows that new storm threats stretch into the eastern part of the country, from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, down to Raleigh, North Carolina. A few rounds of rain could cause some flooding issues for New York City, Long Island, and parts of Connecticut. Not much sun in the Sunshine State, with central and southern Florida facing potentially heavy thunderstorms into the overnight hours. I'm Maribel Gonzalez reporting.
And part of the severe weather risk extends to our area here. Currently out west, another severe weather outbreak in New Mexico and western Texas. See the low pressure area spinning here in the Four Corners region. That is what's adding lift to our atmosphere and causing the rain showers and storms we had around here this evening and today. It'll be around for tomorrow. We'll take a look at that coming up next in your forecast. Good evening once again, Trey Mining here, and looking at still a few rain showers in our region here from about Victoria, just near Goliad as well. Mainly in our eastern counties, but not anything severe or really heavy. Just a brief little downpour in some areas around here because they're very small in size and very widespread in nature. Looking to the west of Victoria, pretty much clear for the time being. So I think we'll have a pretty quiet night overall. The rain showers we have over our region now will begin to die out here before too much longer. 79 degrees was the official high in Victoria. Low 61 degrees. Felt good this morning, nice and cool. Below normal for a normal high and below normal for a normal low as well. Rainfall was definitely under that for the year, almost 2 inches under normal minus. And then we caught a little bit of rain today and a little bit over 1/4 of an inch. And that's helped to bring the number from May up a little bit more, but still under about 1/12 of an inch. So we do need the rainfall around here. And the chances are pretty good that we'll get some more rainfall. This was the severe weather threat today, which pretty much held true. From about Hallettsville northward, this was the best chance of severe weather we had earlier today. Some warnings along I-10 corridor, including for Lavaca County and also for Wharton County earlier today. And not as much to the south of Victoria. And that'll be the case again for your day tomorrow. Only a marginal risk around all of South Texas, including our region here. That means it's a small risk, but it's a risk nonetheless. We need to keep heads up about the weather conditions tomorrow as storms will begin to roll through. More likely in the afternoon will be the best time with daytime heating. Rest of the night, a few rain showers kind of hit and miss, and they're beginning to wind down as they head toward the early morning hours tomorrow. Mostly dry when we start off in the morning time. Then here comes another batch in from the west, coming in for early morning hours for your Tuesday, and being scattered around the region as we go through the rest of the day. Same goes for Wednesday. Some of the storms will be on the severe side, dropping some heavy rainfall, maybe some hailstones, and definitely vivid lightning, and maybe some localized flooding in some parts of the region. By Monday morning, where we were this morning, we were in the 60s. We rocketed up pretty nicely, well into the low 80s to mid 80s for the daytime high today, even though we had most of the areas of cloud cover and rain in our region here. And then we will see overnight lows in the 70s again tomorrow morning, with temperatures in the 70s or 80 degrees for the daytime high. Even though we have cloud cover and rain in the area, we'll keep it on the warm side, of course. Probably a few degrees above normal. Victoria, cloudy skies throughout the day, maybe some peaks of sun here and there. There's a little bit of breaks in the atmosphere in the cloud cover, maybe allowing our temperature to rise to the mid 80s or so. So rain chance throughout the day, hit and miss. And some storms will be heavy, so be weather aware and be listening for weather updates just in case. And Quail as well, scattered rain showers and storms throughout the day, with high temperatures in the low to mid 80s, southerly winds, kind of gusty winds in the afternoon. For Lavaca, cloudy skies throughout the day, scattered rain showers and storms along the coast starting off and building their way inland throughout the rest of the time period for your day tomorrow. Highs in the mid 80s or so. Extended forecast for us. Rain chance is 60%. Tuesday and Wednesday with alert days both days. So be weather aware. And then beginning to wind down on your Thursday, and then we clear out as the front moves through and dry out. High temperatures in the 80s, lows 50s, 60s. Nice cool mornings coming up toward the end of the week. So let's enjoy that. Carry your umbrella, be weather aware, and stay safe. Okay, let's take a look at the QR code. Get your smartphone, scan the code, be connected with us with our app. You can download on your phone. All news, weather, and sports you need to know in the crossroads right there on your hands-free phone. And so get to download it today, be connected with us. And I see we got some sports over there with Mr. Ray Robinson.
Thank you, Trey. Coming up in sports, we're talking to Goliad Tigers Barrett Irvin, Barrett Garcia, and Finn Wally. See what they have to say ahead of their Hondo matchup. All right, we're getting ready for the second round in the playoffs for high school baseball. The #1 ranked team in their district, being the Goliad Tigers, swept Columbus this past weekend. In the 6 p.m., we heard from Coach Q. I was also able to catch up with a few of the players and receive a word from them. The Goliad Tigers have had an impressive season, so much that it saw them finish first in their district. So a deep run in the playoffs is expected, but that's one that the players look to continue to build upon.
So we've been really hot lately, been swinging it pretty good. One thing we're working on right now is scoring a lot of runs. You know, we're leaving a lot of runners on, so it's a main focus point right now. Got to hit the ball more, play more as a team. Pitchers got to pitch contact, defense got to work behind us, and got to score more runs like that.
We've stepped up a lot with our bats. Beginning of the year, we started off pretty rough with the bats, but we're getting them going.
And just like you heard from Coach Q, Hondo is fundamentally sound, and the strategy from the players still remains simple.
Keep rolling, you know, sticks got to stay hot, guys got to stay playing well, got to score more runs this week. Pitch contact, let your defense work, got to work as a team. Sticks got to stay hot, got to keep hitting the ball, score runners, do the little things right.
I plan to pitch Hondo game and to maybe get some more base hits.
All right, thank you, guys. Goliad's next opponent will be against Hondo in the second round. The action will be at Seguin, and the date and time have now been made official. Game 1 will be on Wednesday at 6 p.m. Game 2 will be on Thursday. Game 3 will follow if necessary. In Crossroads, let's talk about our softball teams as they are in the midst of their postseason. Starting off with our St. Joseph Lady Flyers. The Flyers will be on the road to Columbus to battle Cypress Christian in the second round. State contender in the Shiner Lady Comanches captured their area championship over the weekend. They took on Fall City and winning their series in a sweep. Both games saw the Lady Comanches hit double digits and runs across the board, the biggest being in their first game, which saw that final score be 13-6. And on to DeWitt County as the Yoakum Lady Bulldogs are advancing to the regional semis as the champions of their respected area. They beat Hondo in their last game of the series, final score 14-0. Crossroads, we're continuing to bring out the brooms for our softball teams as the Tidehaven Tigerettes sweep to capture their area championship, beating Cotulla at Kennedy High School this past weekend. The Tigerettes also reaching double-digit wins in both games. The last game of the series, Tidehaven won easily in convincing fashion, final score 12-1. And the Ganado Maidens, a team that's turning a lot of heads with their play on the field, is taking their next step in the postseason. They swept Three Rivers this past weekend. Game 1 saw the Maidens make a big statement, winning it in convincing fashion as well. Final score 14-4. They will prepare to take on Thorndale. And day 1 wrapped up in the UIL State Golf Tournament where Industrial and Goliad are competing in the 3A division. Industrial's day 1 score is a total of 321, which currently sees them now as 9th place. And Goliad's day 1 score is 362, and they are now in the 12th place. But it's only day 1, so much can happen from now until tomorrow. But make sure you tune in tomorrow where we'll have the official results. But that does it for your sports. Don?
Thank you, Ray. Maybe we'll check with Trey on the weather for tomorrow's second round in Austin. How about that? Stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now at 10. We'll take a last look at your weather. Plus, racing is not just for people. Burros and runners team up for a backcountry adventure.
Stay up tonight. I made enchiladas.
Oh, my goodness. This also looks old, like it hasn't been used in a long time.
I used it this morning.
A soaring heat wave was too much for one hot elephant in southern India. With temperatures rising fast, this big guy decided it was time to cool off in a pool, and nobody got in his way. Really, he strolled right down the ramp, made a big splash in the deep end, and started playing around like he owned the place. He spent a good while splashing, dunking himself, and enjoying a well-deserved break from the heat. Elephants are actually strong swimmers, and they absolutely love being in the water, especially when it's this hot. They also have a pretty good memory, too. This is Park Hill Dave. Yes, that's his full name, and he's become a local celebrity in Denver. After living alone on a closed golf course for months, Dave avoided rescue attempts, carried a stuffed toy everywhere, and relied on kind strangers for food. Denver Parks and Rec staff finally caught him using a humane trap and a juicy steak. His microchip led nowhere, so one of the team members adopted him. Now Park Hill Dave gets to roam Denver's parks in style, and when one opens this summer, it might even be named at his honor. Oh yeah, that would be during the dog days of summer, of course. You know. Now, we were talking about golf weather tomorrow, second round of state in Austin for Industrial and the Goliad boys, and you're saying the weather there will be?
Chances are they're going to be rained out.
And they don't have a third round. That's it.
It's not looking promising for that.
Oh, boy. And what about here?
Same thing. Yeah, we're dealing with rainfall again tomorrow, probably even more widespread than we were today, 60%. Easy bet on that. Same thing for Wednesday. Alert days both days for a marginal risk of severe weather, so be weather aware today and tomorrow especially. Beginning to thin out by Thursday as the front moves through. Now check it out toward the end of the week, sunshine. Cooler temperatures in the morning times, lows in the 50s and 60s. Nice breath of cool air in the morning time with sunny skies by the weekend. But be weather aware tomorrow and Wednesday.
Thank you, Trey. And finally tonight, gentlemen, start your burros. Runners and their stubborn partners took over the old mining town of Cerrillos, New Mexico this weekend for a pack burro race. The teams ran along dusty trails and desert roads, honoring an Old West tradition where miners raced with their burros to claim land. Each animal carries a saddle, pick, pan, and shovel, but they won't be ridden. Runners must guide them, often with plenty of coaxing. Some burros come from federal adoption programs or past owners, and anyone curious can rent one just for fun. But you can't ride them, okay? That's part of the rules.
Oh, too bad.
That's right, darn. All right. Thanks for joining us. Join 25 News Now Sunrise at 5 a.m. Jimmy Kimmel Live starts now.